Okay, let's look at dynamic binding. Then I think I need to compare with the static binding. Dynamic binding is related to overridden methods. So let's start with the static binding. It refers to Java virtual machine where it makes decisions. The type of objects at compile time. One of the example was overloading methods. In our demonstration, we call it as a displayStudent. So that refers to static when we referring to compile time. Next one is dynamic binding. It refers to Java virtual machine where it determines the types of object at runtime. In our demonstration, it refers to overridden methods. We override toString methods in our subclasses. So let's look at toString methods. So when we have a toString method, we override it in subclass called undergraduate. The first one, student subject as it is. It refers to toString method of a superclass called students. Undergraduate, UZ. Pass to students, students toString. This time we are referring to subclass of undergraduates. Last one is a graduate, referring to students. toString methods belongs to graduate class. So there's a toString belongs to students, toString belongs to undergraduate, toString belongs to graduate. So let's look at the dynamic binding. What if the toString method doesn't exist in undergraduate class? According to inheritance chain or hierarchy, subclass can look for its superclass, in this case students. Student has a toString methods, so it's going to invoke toString methods. So let's comment it out. Let's see what happened to UZ, undergraduate object. What if it does not override toString methods? Okay. Can we refers to student toString methods? Yes, it does. That's the idea of dynamic binding. It will follow the hierarchy. Sometimes we say inheritance chains. What about graduates? It has exactly the same superclass. What if this toString method doesn't exist? It will go up to superclass and then search for toString methods. It works toString method of a student superclass. Okay. Let's make one more subclass. Let's say exchange students as a country. Also, we are going to have one toString methods. So exchange students happen to be only undergraduates, so we extend undergraduate class. Let's create an exchange class. Insert code, add property, country, setters and getters, uncheck generate documents. So we have setter and getter and toString methods, so that we can print country where a student came from. So here, let's create one more object, exchange student object. Default constructor. We have a set country. I think I forgot to extend. Here, extend undergraduate. So we can make it as a subclass of undergraduate. So now we should be able to add Australia. We can add the student name. I will say Arthur. Good enough. Display students EX. So if you look at the last one, it's going to call for toString methods. Belongs to exchange class. What if it doesn't exist? It will search for the superclass. It means referring to undergraduate. If the undergraduate doesn't have one, it's going to look for superclass. Happen to be students. So let's comment it. Again, doesn't have a toString methods. Look for students. Superclass of students. So we end up with using these toString methods. So it's going to print exactly the same thing. We'll print name of student and code, and then GPA. What if we don't have a toString method in students? Let's see what happens. It just print project name, then class name, add unique ID. So what happens is here, every class you create in your program, it has a superclass called object. We don't have to extend it. It is available by default. So we can say that whatever we create is in our program is a subclass of object, whether you declare explicitly or not. So that's why we don't declare explicitly. So we are saying that here every class of our superclass has one superclass called object. So object class is available as a superclass, and then object class has a one method called toString. So basically we are overriding these toString methods belongs to object class. So that's where we get that output. So it's so obvious, we don't use it. Same idea as a default constructor. If it's obvious, you don't have to. So now here it says that toString method, we are referring to object class. Even though we did not explicitly declare, we are referring to toString method belongs to object class. Okay. It's returning string representation of the object. Class name, get name, add integer with a unique ID of our objects. So student has a unique ID in our memory with that representations. So ideally it's good to have toString methods, our own toString method in students, so that we can print what we want. Of course, ideally, when you look at undergraduate, we should override our superclass toString methods so we can check what's going on. Also here, again, we should be able to override it. So during the development, you will find out what you have in your object. I think that's all. That's the kind of idea of using dynamic binding so that you can check what's available inside your objects within your hierarchy. That's all. Thank you.